Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Whatever It Takes Wednesday. On this show today, what I want to talk about is everything that I've done wrong in the online marketing space. And I thought it would be a good topic because, there's lots of people that are just getting started out, and then there's also people that are veterans in the online marketing space. Either way, if you're brand new in the marketing space, you need to know what to do, right? But if you're a veteran and you've been in the online marketing space for a while, you need to know what to do still too, because you need to know what to teach, right? Because you want to be able to pay it forward. Sometimes when you do things for so long, whether you're a car mechanic or a masonry guy or a car salesman, like you do things for so long, sometimes you forget what you do, or what you've been doing, that whole time, right? So it's cool. I got a good connection there. It almost seemed like I lost a connection. If you could see me, go ahead and hit the love button or comment below and let me know you can see me. It looks like I was having a little bit of a connection issue there. Looks like I'm good on the IG up top. But yeah, please do me a favor and hit the like button, the love button, comment below, say something. That way that I know that it's working properly. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get right. I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. Right into what my mistakes were. I got started in the online marketing space. 2012 was like the main time when I got into it. And just trying to sell online. Rather than being like face to face. Although I was good at selling face to face, I wanted to learn how to like sell online. I wanted to learn how to be able to recruit without being present, right? I wanted to be able to create leverage because, when you're in the sales space, it can feel tiring or wear you down when you're just constantly trying to, constantly trying to sell people belly to belly, face to face, and you don't have a lot of leverage and stuff like that, right? So I was like, all right, the internet's where it's at. This is 5 years ago. It's 2017 right now. I got started in the online marketing space pretty heavily in 2012. I joined a network marketing company, was doing good, recruiting, selling people every day, selling them on the idea of whatever I was doing. But I had friends that were more in the internet marketing space that were better at other things like email marketing, YouTube marketing, and Craigslist marketing, and these other platforms too, like the different other social media platforms, like LinkedIn was around back then even. But I noticed some of these people outperforming me when they weren't necessarily better than me, right? So I was like, I need to learn how to market on the internet. I need to learn how to market online. So that's what I started doing, right? What's up, Joe Rickard? I can see you on there, man. It's coming up clear for that. I didn't know if I had a great connection there. Hope you're doing well, man. It's been a little while since I talked to you. Glad you dropped in here live. But some of the things that I did when I first got started in the online marketing space, one was giving my link, like in the network marketing space particularly, was giving my link when people didn't want it. It's like you're trying to jam it down their throat, right? Giving your link to people, when they didn't ask for it, and that's a problem. You need to learn how to get people to ask you for the link. That was something that I did in the beginning, just throwing my link everywhere, like with hopes that if I just throw it in enough places that somebody will just magically buy, and it never happened. It never happened. I did it. I totally wasted a lot of time doing that kind of stuff in the beginning. And if you're like a veteran, you know what I'm talking about because you've been through it too. I hear a lot of people, they make fun of people. They make fun of people like, oh, he doesn't know how to market. Like, but hey, you know what, buddy? Like, you were brand new too. You're brand new to like the online marketing space too. Whether you're selling something in the network marketing space or whether you're using the internet to sell real estate or using the internet for something else. Like, you were new in the space too before, So one of the things I did was I just gave my link everywhere without people asking for it, and it never ever worked. I got into hundreds of groups, hundreds of Facebook groups, and I'm like posting my links in there every day for months on end. Nothing happening. Then as far as Facebook groups goes, I created all my own Facebook groups, which does give you more leverage because it makes you look like you know what you're talking about. But what happened with that? What happened with that is I ended up creating my own Facebook spam groups, like where people can go in there and advertise, and then I'd have a billboard at the top where people can get free training. And it actually worked years ago to get some leads here and there, but was never very effective. I now have these spam groups. I have like 10 of them, like with my picture in the cover photo, and like free training, trying to capture the leads and stuff like that. And people they don't opt in. There's thousands and thousands of people. I own Facebook groups with like 100,000 people in them. So from people just adding people because they're like old advertising groups. So like, I even own these groups and I don't make no money off of them. You know what I mean? I don't make anything off of them. So like spamming in groups or even owning spam groups, either way, you ain't making no money. You ain't making no money. Like back in the day, I used to be able to get some leads from there, and it would attract people over to my regular Facebook and stuff, but now, not anymore. Not anymore. So it did work a little bit when you own the group, and that was years ago. Like it's been years since I've heard of anybody joining me in anything from a Facebook like spam group or Facebook advertising group, right? You want to call it an advertising group, but they're really just spam groups. You know what I mean? They're not effective. Another thing that I did wrong too when I first got started was I used to, just drop links, like copy and paste messages with a link in there and stuff like that, and put them in like 100 different people's inboxes and stuff like that. Like thinking that like maybe if I put them in enough inboxes, they would check them out and they'd buy. And guess what? They never did. They never did. It's the golden rule. People buy from people that they know, like, and trust. You can't get someone to know, like, and trust you in a heartbeat. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? So that was another mistake I made. I would just always be dropping these links like in the inbox. This is in 2012, so I've come a long way. Another thing that I didn't do right when I first started in the online marketing space. Another thing I didn't do right was I acted like a know-it-all. I acted like a know-it-all, like I knew everything, right? I acted like I knew everything when I didn't. And what happened was later on is when I became more humble and stopped acting like I know everything, become more humble, then I started to know a lot more. And then I started paying more attention. Then I started becoming more honest with myself of like what works and what doesn't work. You know what I mean? So that's another big thing too. Another big mistake too I learned in the online marketing space, is to be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. You can keep on doing the same thing you've been doing. You're going to keep on having the same thing you've been having, right? So that's something every single year. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, but you should. It is a good time to stop and look back and say, have I made progress? Right at the end of the year, it is a good time to do a checkup from the neck up. See if you did make progress. And every year, your DMO, your weekly method of operation, monthly method of operation, that should change. You should change. Some different things should change because, like I said, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're gonna keep getting what you've been getting. You know what I mean? So that was one. Just being humble. Oh, what's up, Mom? What's going on? I didn't even realize that was you at first because you changed your profile picture. What's going on? Andrew Lemons, Keith Ritchie, Tabitha Farrell, Hovind Seghetto, Nicholas. Thanks for joining me, folks. Thanks for joining me. So I was at my son's karate earlier tonight, and I decided to write a little list of different things that I did when I first got started. And it's something whether you're brand new to the online marketing space or you're a veteran, it could be a good reminder to you, of what to not have your people do. Because when you're, like I said before, when you're doing things for so long, you don't even realize what you're doing anymore because you're just you're an autopilot. Things just, you just do things differently. It's kind of like when you get in your car and you accidentally drive to the wrong place. You're like an autopilot, right? You know what I'm saying? So another mistake that I made when I first got in the online marketing space was not networking enough. And that kind of goes back to the whole giving your link when people aren't asking for it. Just making real conversations with people. People ask me all the time, how do you make so many sales and stuff? How do you make so many sales all the time, man? How do you do that? Well, one of the ways is I have genuine relationships with people over a long period of time, so they know, like, and trust me, right? So I make I'm never being attached to the outcome. You're always genuinely making friends because you're not really attached to the outcome. Like, you don't really care if they buy from you or not. Like, you value their friendship more than the money. But but because of that, because people see you're authentic, you're not attached to the outcome, and you don't need them, you just want them. There's a difference between needing the sale and wanting the sale. When it's like that, you just attract more sales. You know what I mean? Because you're like on a different level. So that's one of the ones I wanted to touch on. Just not networking enough and having enough genuine conversations, because a lot of people that are in this space, like, they can see right through this stuff. They can see a pitch coming like a mile away, right? So I like to say, just like I was talking about in this Craigslist training I was just doing, I like to say that acknowledge the elephant in the room. Like, if you're talking about sales, just talk about it. You know what I mean? Don't beat around the bush and act like it ain't happening. That's another thing I wanted to talk about too. When it does come to sales or talking about your business, is to not be afraid, not be afraid to ask for the sale. Not be afraid to ask for the sale. You got nothing to lose. Like Wayne Gretzky says, he says, you miss every shot you don't take. So if you don't take the shot, you already missed anyway, right? So I didn't always ask for the sale. Sometimes I would talk too much. Like, I would ask a question and then start talking again and not pause. Like, I just right there for you to take it in. I didn't pause after asking the question for them to answer it. You know what I mean? Because people want you to ask for the sale. People want you to want their business. You know what I mean? When I'm talking to people, when I'm talking to you guys right now, I want your business. You know what I mean? I do. I want your business. I want to earn the right to your business. I even say that to people sometimes, like, what do I got to do? What do I got to do to earn the right to your business? You know what I mean? Like, I will let people know that I want their business. You know what I mean? And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get their business. You know what I mean? I'm willing to fight for their business. You know what I mean? So, acknowledge the elephant in the room. Don't forget to ask for the sale. So here's the next one too. Not giving enough value. Like, if you follow Gary Vaynerchuk at all, right? He says jab, 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 right hook, jab, 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 right hook. So, like, if you're always asking for the sale and you're never giving value, your value should be, there's all kinds of statistics, right? People, 90% value, 10% ask for the sale, 70% value, 30% ask for sale. Listen, just do what you feel is in your gut, and make sure that it doesn't matter if you're doing things at an exact formula. Just ask for the sale when you're ready to ask for the sale, but make sure you make a habit out of giving value. And so another thing that I did wrong in the past is I gave filler. So I gave filler. So filler is a killer. I forget who I heard say that originally. So it's like being on social media or doing something else. It's like feeling like you have to say something all the time instead of delivering real value. Like, when you have real value to share, you should just never hold back. Like, whatever the value might be, no matter what it is, whether it's value for somebody's health, value for somebody's love life, value for somebody's finances, value for somebody's spiritual life. When you got value to share, give the value, and don't forget to do it in that given time. Because if you forget to give it in that given time, you might forget. I was just saying this on social media the other day. I said, one really good tip to give twice as much value, is to actually give the value when you think of it. Because if you don't give it when you're thinking of it, then you'll probably forget. You ever have a later on moment in the day and you're like, man, I wanted to say something earlier. I had something really, really, really powerful and really helpful to somebody that I could have shared earlier, and I don't even remember what it was or how I worded it or whatever. So one thing to do, is to make sure when you have something valuable to share online, is just share it. Share it. Don't hold back. and just share it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to share it. Don't be afraid of critics. Don't be afraid of critics. I'm been guilty of that, being afraid of critics and stuff like that. I don't care about critics, and I like critics now at this point. Because if you don't got critics, you ain't doing something right. If you ain't got haters, you ain't doing something right. So look at all the biggest winners around. They have lots of haters and lots of critics, and it takes no courage to be a hater or a critic. So they're like beneath me anyway. They're beneath you. If you're following me, they're beneath you too, because you're more, because the law of attraction says like attracts like. So if you're attracted to me, that means that we're similar, right? So that means that you're more of a winner, in my opinion, because you have a winner mentality, and you're not like that. So here's another thing that I didn't do right when I first got started marketing online and things like that. This is something that people do wrong all the time. They do it wrong all the time, especially network marketers. What they do is they forget the story tell, and what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? They forget the story tell. Well, you ever heard the saying, facts tell and stories sell? So it's just like when you ever read a book and it's like just telling you a bunch of facts and you're like, who cares? I don't care about it. I don't care. It's telling me a bunch of facts. Well, facts tell and stories sell. So a lot of people in like the network marketing space and other spaces as well, they'll get all crazy about it because they'll be like, I know it's great. I know it's great. I know it's great. I know it's great. It's got this best compensation plan. It's got this best product here. It's got this best network. It's the best. It's the best. It's the best. And people just don't care. They want to hear your story because people can't relate to the facts. They can only relate to the stories. So that's another thing that I didn't do right when I first started marketing online. I didn't storytell enough. I did do storytelling, but I would forget. And I to be honest with you, I've continued to forget. Like a lot of people in here tonight might be like veterans in the online marketing space, like, yeah, you know what? I'm forgetting the story tell too. Because sometimes you get so caught up when you know something's really good, you're like, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's great, it's great. Take this, take this. And then people just like, they're like, I don't want that. Like I don't know, I'm not interested in it. I'm not sure if I can relate to it. But if you tell your story and share your experience in relation to it, then people can relate more. So don't forget to tell stories. To tell stories, because like I said, here's the good old reminder in the quote: the facts tell and stories sell. So don't forget to share your story, in the online marketing space. Another thing that I've done wrong, too, with in the online marketing space too, is just relying on one income. Relying on one income. They say, some people say don't put all your eggs in one basket. Some people say put all your eggs in one basket. A lot of winners say put all your eggs in one basket, but they don't necessarily mean all your eggs in one basket as in like one thing. If there's a bunch of eggs and they're in one basket, there could be a bunch of moving parts. You know what I mean? So you can have multiple income streams in the e-commerce space. A bunch of eggs could be there, right? It could be like the eBay egg, the Amazon egg, the Shopify egg. So like if one of these eggs break, you still got the other eggs, right? Now if it's like online marketing space, you might have this deal that's working out well and converting well, when you place ads on it. You might have these tools that convert well and that people keep and hang on to, and they could be the other eggs, right? They could be the other eggs in that one basket. So there's more to that metaphor. Some people say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread your eggs out into multiple baskets. Well, as long as you got all your eggs, you do put all your eggs in one basket, but realize there's more than one egg. You know what I mean? So I hope you like that. It's a powerful metaphor, because I'm guilty of it. If I have one thing that's working really well, then something changes, like a system changes or something like that, and then all of a sudden I'm not able to make as many sales as I was able to make before because there was a system change. Maybe an algorithm changed on Amazon or eBay or Shopify or one of these e-commerce places, or maybe an algorithm changed on a social media platform like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc., etc. Or maybe if you're advertising on Craigslist or somewhere else, maybe they changed the rules or something like that, or maybe somebody's going through flagging people and you've been dependent on Craigslist for months and it's been working out really well, but now somebody just flagged your account and now you have to get a VPN, get a new phone number or an email address, and you have to create a new account. It happens. People's Facebook accounts get shut down. People's Amazon accounts get shut down. People join network marketing companies and they go out of business and the rug gets pulled out from underneath them. Happened to me twice. I went to the top of a company and then all of a sudden the rug got pulled out from underneath of me. You know what I mean? So I've had lots of failure on my journey. As an entrepreneur online, to be honest, but it doesn't matter. When you build lots of skills, you got lots of skills, you'll always be able to pay the bills, right? So that covers that. Another thing too, when it comes to the online marketing space, as far as digital products and things like that go, one thing that I've messed up in the past doing was building somebody else's list. I was building the company's list. Building the company's list rather than building my own list. Because when you build your own list, you're able to revisit your list, share value with them, and maybe let them know where you're going. Like if something changes in your life and you have to go another route or something like that. If you build your own list, you always have your own list to be able to rely on. And I'm sure you heard it a million times, right? But the fortune is in a list, right? So people. You don't have to have a massive list. You just got to have a list. You got to start somewhere. And I'm gonna end it with this last one. This last tip after looking through here. There's two more. Here's another one too. As far as networking and things like that goes, whether you're like in the real estate or e-commerce or network marketing, like when you're trying to like develop what I call there's mentors and then there's like. I call them workout partners, or like people that are on your level. This is something that people in the network marketing space do, and like I did it. Like get in, you're like, I want to try to recruit that big guy, I want to try to recruit that big guy. Well, here's the problem with that. Like if you joined a network marketing company or something like that, you're like, I want to recruit that big guy, and then I'm going to get rich off of him or whatever. Like that's probably what you're thinking, right? You're being selfish. We're all selfish. You should be. You should be selfish enough to want to like make money and take care of your family, because that's where the unselfish part comes, right? So, but people need to learn to recruit up. So like you level up and you can recruit people like on your level. Same thing with networking. Like if you get good results, you can connect with people that have like similar results as you. It's something they do this on like Instagram and things like that. What they do is they do shout outs, shout out for shout out. But someone with 1,000 followers won't give somebody with 10,000 followers. They won't give somebody a shout out that only has 1,000 followers, because it's not an equal gain. So the person with 1,000 followers usually would have to pay for the shout out on there, if that makes sense. So to make the energy equal, you always want to go equal energy for equal energy. So, and then the last thing that I'm going to touch on here, the last thing I'm going to touch on as far as like the internet marketing space and things like that go, and your social media platforms and things like that is to give them all love, to give them all equal love. You know what I mean? Like treat them with love. I always say, give it TLC. Give it TLC. That tender love and care, because you can't just like I was talking about earlier, throwing your links everywhere and thinking that it's going to work out and things like that, because it's not. So make sure you're giving value on all your platforms, and then putting a plug in here and there, with your stuff. Okay, so that's the last thing I wanted to touch on there. I see you on there, L. Campbell. What's going on, my man? Tom Perry, my neighbor Corey Smith, my mom's on there. So yeah, thank you all for joining me. Joining me here on Whatever It Takes Wednesday. This is episode 18. Next week I got a really special guest, a professional MMA fighter is going to be on here. He's also a model, a trainer. He's a model, a trainer, an entrepreneur. Really cool guy. I'm looking forward to bringing him on here and just being humble, right? Like I was talking about, being humble. Like I'm going to be learning from him myself. Seeing what I can do to improve my game. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I'm a black belt in martial arts, and been practicing martial arts for many years, almost around a decade now. So yeah, around 2007. Yeah, it's 2017. So I've been studying martial arts for 10 years. So I'm a black belt in Japanese Goju-Ryu, and I've done some jiu-jitsu tournaments and stuff like that. Just for the fun of it. Because I like to compete and have fun. But anyway, I'm gonna get and close out. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming. I don't care if it's one person or 1,000 people that come on these come on these hangouts. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next video. All right, or the next whatever it takes Wednesday next week. All right, bye for now. Peace.